joy, I feel joy moving in me. You feel it? I feel joy moving in me, and I feel peace. I feel peace moving in me. I feel peace moving in me. I feel the Spirit. I feel the Spirit moving in me. I feel the Spirit moving in me. And I feel the power moving in me. I feel the power moving in me. And I feel the vision moving in me. I feel the vision moving in me. And I feel the presence moving in me. I feel the presence moving in me. And I feel the praise moving in me. I feel the praise moving in me. And I feel the glory moving in me. I feel the glory moving in me. And I feel the blessings moving in me. I feel the blessings moving in me. And I feel the changes moving in me. Oh, I can feel that. I feel the changes moving in me. And I feel the love, I feel the love moving in me. I feel the love moving in me. And I feel God, I feel God moving in me. I feel God moving in me.
Good morning, everybody. How are you all? And this is kind of a chilly morning, isn't it? Y'all out there? There you are. There you are. Thank you, Dave, for that awesome song this morning. Those songs are for you, right? Those songs are for us to be able to feel the Spirit, feel the presence, feel the love moving within us. So, if you ever feel like getting up and dancing, go ahead, right? We're in church, for gosh sakes. For God's sakes. Okay. Roy Martin. Thank you so much. Wasn't that beautiful this morning?
Yes.
Like a real concert coming into that, huh? Thank you, Roy, so much for your music. We're so blessed. So, right now, I'd just like to breathe, and I invite you to breathe with me now, just a mindful breath as we relax here into this space that we have created, this CSL space, this community together. And let us speak our mission statement together. We recognize and realize the omnipresence of divine love as the truth of all.
quiet place within my heart, and I will listen, Holy Spirit. I will listen. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still and know. I will make a quiet place within my life, and I will listen, Holy Spirit. I will listen. I will make a quiet place. I will make a quiet place. I will make a quiet place.
And in this sacred quietness, I recognize and feel the sacred power and presence that I call God. And in this stillness, I invite each of you to connect with that heart center, that place where Spirit dwells within each of us. Where that Spirit is the life essence, the oneness, the allness of life, the presence that is everywhere present in and through all creation. It is the expression existing in the oneness, and in the oneness, the diversity of life. It is the Alpha and the Omega. It is the all good of the universe. And as I know this is the expression that lives in and through and as me, that I am the fullness of Spirit expressing. And as I know and I feel this for myself, I know this is true for each and every one here today, that this is true for each and all of creation. For everything is the fullness of Spirit expressing in form. And it's from this place of sacredness, this place of Spirit, that I affirm that we are all living and manifesting the spiritual qualities of Spirit. That Spirit moves through us, expressing in our daily life as love, joy, prosperity, freedom, health, harmony, and peace in our lives and the lives of everyone around us. We bring forth in our consciousness, through our consciousness, and through our actions, the best that there is within us, that we express the wholeness as we see that wholeness in each one we meet. Knowing that divine intelligence, that divine wisdom is the source of all answers, of all knowledge, that the mind of God is free of doubt, free of confusion. I affirm that we tune into this higher essence of ourselves, releasing anything that does not serve us, releasing worry, doubt, anxiety, releasing any ideas of separation from this all goodness of God. Knowing that divine wisdom is our wisdom, we are guided daily into right action in all of our affairs, physical, mental, spiritual, affirming and knowing and taking comfort in knowing that this sacred presence is greater than our human condition, and we are receptive to the highest ideals of ourselves and each other. And I turn my attention to the prayer chest, knowing that each request is engulfed in divine love, that each request is enfolded in that divine healing presence, this presence that is renewing and restoring each request to the fullness of life, that each situation is being guided and directed to the most healthful, the most helpful, and the most highest ideal for each request. Each prayer request is a divine idea, and each one is moving into that fullness of life, into that oneness with its highest form. The service today is blessed, as we are blessed by all that are here. We know that each participant, that the music, the volunteers, the staff, everything that is happening to make this day possible is all an activity of God in action, in form, as we shine our light on each other, blessing each other today. So it's with great thanksgiving and gratitude for this truth, knowing that we are one in the mind of God, that we are that which is an expression of the Most Holy. And I give thanks for this truth expressing in each and every life as I release this prayer into the law of God, knowing it is already fulfilled. It is showing up right now in form. And I just relax in expectation and confidence as we join together and declare, and so it is.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred shores. Get ready, my soul.
Good morning. As I see all, excuse me, as I see all your light shining out there, I'd just like to remind you, if you don't happen to see your own light, or you're not seeing the light of others in your life, please leave your concerns in the prayer chest, and I will be doing affirmative prayer this week on your behalf. There is something in every one of you that waits and listens for the sound of the genuine in yourself. It is the only true guide you will ever have. Howard Thurman. Today is good. Tomorrow will be even better. And that vistas of tomorrow that stretches down the bright eternities of an endless future will all be good. For the nature of reality cannot change. Ernest Holmes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to say a few things, and I have a video this morning, and then I'm going to come back and give a little bit of extra credit work if you want to work on it for later. So, first I want to say, Roy and I were out walking the property yesterday. We were taking a few laps around we just have an acre of land, lots of beautiful trees. And we have a tree called the hugging tree. And we kind of made that up because of my grandson Zeke, which a lot of you know. We love to hug the tree, and it's nice soft bark. What kind of tree is that, Roy, that we're hugging? It's the juniper, so it has a nice soft bark, and it's nice and big and hugging. Anyway, so I was hugging that on one of our laps, and I just asked for a little wisdom from the tree as I was going along, and like right away I got wisdom, and I was like, thank you. And I thought this really hooks up with what we're doing here at the center because of you know what the tree would tell me? A sturdy foundation with deep roots, right? That's what a tree would say. And so I thought, how perfect that I would get that recognition that what we're doing right here in this month of January at the center is so important in holding this sturdy foundation with deep roots. And that's exactly this. Ernest Holmes sums up. Ernest Holmes is the founder of the Science of Mind, or the author of the Science of Mind textbook. And his work in the textbook, he starts out with the 4 chapters, which are the thing itself. I'm not going to get them in the right order. The thing itself, what it does, how it works, how to use it, okay? Those maybe not in the right order. Those are the foundations of the whole book that he wrote. And when we practice and begin to understand this foundation, then we are sinking deep roots into spiritual living. And, you know, all of this wisdom from the natural world, I just love that. It made me feel so good. So starting today, we are going to start with the first chapter, which is the thing itself. And I have a video from, again, I brought back Reverend Moira Fox. We had her last week, and I thought, why not? Let's do her one more week here. She's going to be talking about the thing itself. And then after the video, I would like to share some spiritual practice for those who wish to grow deep roots in spiritual living. So I'm just really pleased with what we're going to be offering this week on those basics of science of mind. And of course, we study a lot of different new thought, not just science of mind here. We do a lot of Charles Fillmore with unity. But this month, we're really going to focus in on Ernest Holmes and the science of mind philosophy. So here she is. We're going to start out with Moira. Here she is. She is from CSL Redondo Beach. Moira.
And so we begin the new year here, always going back to the fundamental principles and basics of science of mind, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. And I love the month of January because of that in particular. And so today we're looking at the thing itself. Now, anybody passing by our sign and looking at it thinking, what in the name of heavens is that? The thing itself, you know? That could be anything. Well, that's okay. Get people thinking, the thing itself. When I first came into Science of Mind, I was sharing this morning, I thought, they can't do this. They can't be talking about the most important thing in life and living, the creator of it all as a thingy. I mean, come on. We could do better than that. But the thing itself is a glorious concept for me now, because what we're talking about is something that is ineffable, indefinable, something we can't fully understand or grasp with our finite minds because it's infinite. We're talking about something that is nameless, because to name anything is to confine it and to lock it in and to make it small and to limit it. No, we can't do that with the thing itself, which is life itself in capitals, which is spirit itself, which is infinite intelligence itself, which is the one power, the one mind, the one infinite being, the first cause, the creator of it all, which is the Alpha and the Omega, which is the omni-essence of everything, that which is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent, that which is called by thousands of names. We would never run out of names for this thing called life, whether it's called Shiva or Brahman or Vishnu or whether it's called, Mitra, whether it's called Ra, or whether it's called Osiris, or whether it's called Isis, or whether it's called the Great Void, or whether it's called whatever. It's called by many names, and yet you and I cannot possibly name it. But the most important name for it is the name that you give it yourself personally, whatever name that is. And you will come up with your own sense and sensibility of it. The word God is not always a good word for everybody. Not everybody thinks highly or well of that word because of the way it was introduced to them back in the day. But it's an okay word for me. I have no opinion about it one way or another, but I do have my own word for that which is not nameable, that which is inexplicable, and I have several words actually, and it just depends on where I am at any given time. But as I was sharing this morning, my most favorite name for it is more of an experience than a word, and my favorite name for this thing called life is yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. It's so yummy. Oh my gosh, oh golly gee, I can't think of anything yummier. Not even chocolate, not even good chocolate. Really. It's just beyond yummy actually. And that's the way I feel about this thing called life. That's the way I think in terms of this thing called life. It is yummy. I don't care what's going on in it. It's yummy because it is, and it lives in me, and it lives through me, and it lives as me, and as such, it gives me an infinite variety of possibilities that I can hone in on and decide to express and live in my life. Or I don't have to choose that at all. I can choose a life that is this big. or this big, and all the various experiences in between. It's given to you and it's given to me to express that power and that presence that lives and moves and has its being in me and in you, however we so decide, however we so choose, however we so free it or limit it. The choice is yours and the choice is mine, and I'm knowing in this year our choices are going to be big and huge and deep and wide. Open to that beautiful grace, that amazing grace that can turn anything around. Anything, it doesn't matter what it is, can turn it around, because I get out of his way and I stop everything and I stop trying to do it myself. I get out of the way and I let the power, I let the presence, I let the infinite intelligence within me have its way with me and take care of business. As only it knows how to take care of business without me getting in the way with all of my doubting Thomas tendencies, all of my limited thinking, all of my doubting feeling, all of my questioning that this is there for me and I'm supposed to have it. All of my inability to give myself what life wants me to give through me into my experience. That's what the science of mind is all about. The science of mind is the science of mind, which leads us to the realization of unconditioned and unconditional love, which leads us into creating a peaceful heart. The science of mind is the science of life. It is the science of enlightenment. It is the science of wakingness. It is the science of God or self-realization. It is the science of enwombment and fulfillment. It's the science of coming home to the great self that lives and moves and has its being in each and every single one of us. That's the science. In this teaching of science of mind, which Ernest Holmes says, the teaching of the science of mind is the teaching that Jesus presented to the world, not the teaching of organized Christianity. The teaching that Jesus presented to the world. Now remember, Jesus never knew he was a Christian. Never knew he was a Christian. Jesus was a Jew, but a Jew with a difference. He gave the Jews headaches and heartaches and all kinds of aches too. They didn't know what to do with this guy, because he was a Jew like no other Jew had ever been before, and he had them all standing on their heads and thinking upside down and so on and so forth. So he was a nuisance to them, the best of them. He was a nuisance too. And he was a threat to the rest of them. And so the teaching, when he says that we present to the world is the teaching of Jesus Christ, he's talking about the universal principles that Jesus came to share with us. Number one being, do not do to anybody what you wouldn't want anybody to do to you, or do unto others as you would have others do unto you. But that's a universal principle that you'll find in all the great religions. The next thing that he had presented to us was love, and love always, and love all, without exception. Forgive, and forgive always, and forgive all. Have faith in the creative power in the universe. Have faith in the Father, which is the original parent of all, first cause. Have faith, because he always said, your faith has made you whole. It is faith that makes you whole. I'm not making you whole. No one else is making you whole. No thing else is making you whole. Your faith makes you whole. And then another universal principle, the kingdom is at hand. The kingdom of heaven is here and now, and that kingdom is within you. And seek you first that kingdom, and when you do, everything else is added onto you. That's all you have to do. Seek the great self within yourself, and the rest will follow. The rest will follow. And of course, the kingdom is the kingdom of consciousness. Because spirit is the life, the only life that lives us and everything else. Spirit is the power that knows. Spirit is the mind that thinks. Spirit is the intelligence that creates And that spirit is within you right now, exactly where you are, how you are, and what you think and who you think you are. That spirit in all of its fullness and all of its magnificence and all of its intelligence is available to you because it's in you. But Reverend Moira, I mean, really, it's very hard to know something that's invisible or have a relationship with something that's invisible, something that you cannot see. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean you can't experience it. Ask any blind person, any deaf person. They have their own ways of experiencing things that we experience. Their own ways, but they do experience. So a little thing I like to do every year is to get you to do that. Just do that. Wave your hand vigorously like that. Do you feel that? Do you feel that? Well, that's divine, infinite substance being that you're feeling when you do that. It's all around you, it's all about you, it's above you, it's below you. Now, take your hand to your mouth and blow into it. Do you feel that? Do it again. Do you feel that? That's the life force of spirit that you're feeling when you blow into your hand. That's the breath of life, the pranayama, the breath of life. And it's in you, and it came out of you and from you. It's around you, it's about you, it's within you, it works through you and as you. So whenever you want to feel God again and you can't get the feeling, just go, there it is. There it is. By Jove, I got it. I'm full of it. It's full of me. It's everywhere. And I can just get gobs and gobs and gobs and gobs of that wonderful, infinite, divine substance, infinite intelligence itself, and make something great and grand and glorious of it through the way I think, through the way I feel, through the way I act, through the way I do, through the way I am in being. Absolutely you can. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people have done it. They're doing it today. Why not you? Why not me? It's available to us all, regardless. The beauty of Science of Mind is it welcomes all. Everyone can find a home in it. Everybody can recognize themselves here. And everybody can come to a center of spiritual living and be honored and be received as an individualized expression of life itself with its infinite potential. We're not all going to arrive with the same kind of living out of that potential. We'll be at different and various degrees. So consequently, we have to have great patience with each other and step back from judgments and step back from criticisms and step back from condemnations, the god-awful trinity that kills us. That's what kills us. That's what stops us. That's what blocks us. Our self-criticism, our self-condemnation, our self-appraisal at times, as well as that of others, because we have forgotten who we are and what we are and how we are and whose we are. It's wake up time, my dears. That's what the science is about, the science of wakefulness, the science of life. Wakefulness. What good is life if I'm not awake to it? If I'm not alive in it? If I'm not part of it, consciously and willingly and deliberately and intentionally in it, to live it. I'm in it to live it. That's what I am. I'm in life to live life, not exist through it, not to meander through it, not to groan and bellyache through it, but to live it, to sing it, to dance it, to be it in all that I can be. And I can be so much more than I am right now, and so can you. We can erase all the stuff of the past. We can change up the thinking in our minds, which will change up the feeling in our lives, which will change up the behavior in our lives, which will bring great blessings through and into our lives if we so desire. But remember, if it's going to be, it's up to me and no one and no thing else. I'm the only one that can give to me what my soul desires. I am the only one that can give to me what my soul desires. And it desires to know Spirit as that unified, indivisible self. Unified, indivisible self. The non-fragmented self. The whole self. The full self. The great self. The self that I was created to be. So what you call yourself is very important. Even though life has called you mighty, has called you worthy, has called you great, has called you to the selfhood of yourself, matters not. What matters is what you call yourself and how you respond to what you call yourself. And that name is wondrous. The only name we have really to go by is the name that Moses came down from the mountain with. And he was told, tell the people, my name is I am. I am. I am. Not I was, not I will be, but I am. Not a has been or a will be, but an I am. I am. That's who I am. That's what I am. I am. What does that say? It says, I am life. I am life is what I am. And life is for living. Life is for celebrating. Life is for enjoying. Life is to be participated in deliberately, intentionally, directly. That's what life is all about. And you and I are sitting on it most of the time. Don't let it happen. Don't let it venture out through us because of our small-mindedness, small consciousness, small perspectives. We need to shake it on up now and change that around and decide this is the moment now. Now is the moment. The only place you and I can decide anything is now. The only time anything can get done is now. Now. So what is it going to be for you this year? What is it going to be for me this year? Am I going to take this beautiful teaching, this amazing philosophy of life, which is a definite way of being rather than a definite way of following a religion? It's a definite way of being how I show up in life and how I show up in living. Well, I'm telling you right now, you can show up as grand and as great and as beautiful and as magnificent as you so choose. And that's what I'm knowing for each and every one in this room this year, and so it is.
How about that, huh? Woo, what a pistol. You guys can come up and get ready. Lights up, just a little awesome. Thank you, Jeff. Okay, so she talked about, she ended the talk talking about our littleness, right? And that might block us. So the practice that I would just like to offer is I'd just like to offer a few words about expanding your idea of God. I think that's a really good place to start in this new year. We're going to be talking about abundant living the whole rest of the year in all these different areas of our lives. And I think the very first thing that we can do is start to expand what our idea of God is, so that when we pray, we know what we're praying about. When we talk about God, we have an idea in our mind. It comes, an idea and a feeling of what God is to us. So what is God? And what do you think of or feel when you think of the idea of God? Just think about these things for a minute. We're going to end this with a nice song from David for you to kind of bring it all together in that feeling heart space of yours. What idea comes to your mind when you speak of God? Or even when you just hear the word God? Or maybe, is it just a word? Or does it stir something in you? Or maybe you have substituted a word for God that helps you to feel closer to it, like Spirit, or Father, or Divine Beloved, or even Universe. For me, the only word big enough and succinct enough is God. So I talk about God a lot, but I also like to speak the many attributes of God as a part of my concept when I'm thinking about that, to remind myself what I believe, or what I want to believe anyway. So I create my personal relationship with the one creative force in the universe, and I do that thoughtfully, on purpose, and with great care and attention, always remembering that where attention goes, energy flows. So I place my attention on the things and the attributes and the qualities of God. But in order to know what those are, I have to take some time. For me, I have to take time every single day to remember what those things are. So that when I'm in a pinch, especially, and I need to jump to center right now, I need to know what I'm jumping to, because I've practiced so much. I know it by heart and it comes up automatically, right? So some of the things that I think about in my overall image of God, and this is just me, number one is oneness. You could study that the rest of your life. Oneness. Infinite creative substance. That's what Charles Fillmore says abundance is. Infinite creative substance, waiting for our recognition of it. Unconditioned love energy. Expanding abundance, I think. Expanding. God is expanding abundance. That makes me feel good. Perfect wholeness. Nothing out of order. When I think of God, I think perfect wholeness. There's nothing out of order. I think of a calm presence of peace in my mind, in my body, and in my soul. I think of an all-inclusive, universal intelligence and deep, compassionate wisdom that originates from within me. When I think of God, I think my source of my being, my supply of everything. The air I breathe, the money I use, the friends I have, the love I give, the love I receive. God is my supply. When I think of God, I think of God's grace as my sufficiency of all things. So that is a larger or a more expanded idea or feeling or experience of God that I can go to when I say praise God. I need to know what I'm praising. So as I practice these things and I contemplate these things in my own spiritual time, which is what I'm asking you to do this week, contemplate expanding your idea of God so that it includes everything, because, we say it's omnipresent. That's everywhere present. That's everywhere. That's a big word. So I invite you to expand your idea of God in your own mind and your own understanding. and to take time to create an uplifting, reassuring, confident feeling of well-being in mind, in body, and in soul when you think of the idea of God. Immediately turn the word into an experience. Immediately feel the experience of God when you hear or think or pray or ask. A spiritual experience, a very real presence of love. So get a bigger God. Fall in love with God. I'm going to read a Rumi quote, and then I'm going to allow you to let this sink in as Dave sings this beautiful song for you. Rumi says, "Lo, I am with you always," means when you look for God, God is in the look of your eyes, in the thought of looking, nearer to you than yourself or things that have happened to you. There's no need to go outside, he says.
It's like the air around me. It's like the sunlight on my face. I feel the love of God surround me. I am touched by amazing grace. All I ever wanted, all I ever needed, was already there, closer than the sunlight. Nearer than the air. I breathe in, and I am filled with the Spirit, and it is health to my body, it is peace to my mind. It is joy, it is joy to my soul. And I breathe out a simple prayer. My breath becomes a song that was singing all along, that is singing everywhere. It is nearer than the air. It's like the air around me. It's like the sunlight on my face. I feel the love of God surround me. I am touched by amazing grace. And all I ever wanted, and all I ever needed, breath becomes a song that was singing all along, that is singing everywhere. It is nearer than the air. It's like the air around me. It's like the sunlight on my face. I feel the love of God surround me. I am touched by amazing grace. It's like the air around me.
David Hawes, thank you so much. Like an angel singing to us. Thank you. I have one more Rumi quote here. I just love Rumi. He says, "Why, when God's world is so big, did you fall asleep in a prison of all places?" Isn't that good? Yeah. All right, here we go. How about that harp music too?
God, you are every mountain. God, you are every ocean. God, you are every canyon, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every morning. God, you are every midnight. God, you are every moment, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. God, you are every sunrise. God, you are every moonglow. God, you are every star shine, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every springtime. God, you are every snowfall. God, you are every season, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. 'Cause you are the very breath I breathe, and your perfect love created me. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you.
Lord, this is our time to consciously participate in the law of circulation, a wonderful spiritual practice. So, as you take your gift in your hand, please know with me that from the abundance of the I am, I consciously participate, knowing that it is an expression of the I am. As I give, I receive, completing the flow of life, enhancing my life and the world. And our affirmation: I see the abundance of God everywhere I look.
It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all do everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us. I am I. Here we go, one more time. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us. I am.
And in great gratitude for these blessings that circulate, that enhance our community, our world, and the universe, we are grateful, and they are received in great love. And so it is.
Thank you so much, Lou. I'd just like to welcome anyone who is here for the first time. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Life. We have some refreshments. I know we have coffee and tea. I don't know if we have refreshments. That's refreshing, right? We have refreshments downstairs. So I invite you to go down and get to know each other. We also have talking stick happening, and Jeff will let you know when it's time for that. Thank you, Jeff, for bringing back talking stick again. The bookstore is open, so if you'd like to visit in there, I'm going to try to remember to make my way down there. If not, please somebody just come grab me and take me down there. But that is open, and I want to remind you about the prayer chest in the lobby. So that prayer chest is one of the greatest ways that we serve our community here is through prayer, spiritual mind treatment, which is what we're going to have a workshop on next week. And if you're having a challenge, or you can ask for prayer for someone else as well, but put the name on the piece of paper and the good that you desire. State that in a positive, affirmative good that you desire. All of those are kept confidential. And then our dear Lou Kunzelman, who is a licensed practitioner of science of mind, she will take those, and on your behalf, she will know the truth for you. Okay, she will know the truth for you, the truth of your wholeness, the truth of your abundance, whatever that truth that you're seeking, she will know that in her own spiritual time. And I just want to thank Lou for all the invisible work that Lou does for us. Thank you so much. So I encourage you to use the prayer chest that's down in the lobby. Walk down and to the left in the lobby. I have a class coming up, speaking of the basics, a class coming up, and it will be Basic Principles of the Science of Mind, 12 lessons by Dr. Frederick Bales. So we'll be starting that probably the end of February or March sometime. I will have a sign-up sheet next week to see what kind of interest we have going, but I already did order some books for that. I was so pleased that this book is still in print, so I was able to get books for that. So that's coming up in honor of the Back to Basics as well. I think that's it, and we are ready to claim our good together. So there it is. Read over that a little bit, and then we are going to speak this all together. And we're going to speak it as if we claim it as our truth right now. So get into that feeling space, okay? Allow these words to have power because you know what that power is behind the words, right? So recognize that as we speak it. And then let it be done in your life. Let it be done. Here we go. I open my mind and heart to the abundance of rich ideas within me. Spirit speaks, and I hear. I welcome the abundant ideas of Spirit to fill my mind now. And so it is.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I'm getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I'm getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I'm getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here.
Here's the words of Moira. Here we go.
I've been doing it again.